Hello and welcome to the Wild Protea. As I said in a previous video on the Fair Digest news desk, that I will be doing a Protea fan channel. So now the point of this fan channel is to keep a finger on the pulse of South African fans. So I want to basically, review and look at all the sports, cricket, rugby, soccer, and whatever else, and give you, the fans, a voice. And so yeah, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe both to our online magazine. There will be a link in the video description, and also don't forget to comment as well. As this is a fan channel or podcast, it will be great to get your guys' views and for future videos what you guys want to speak about. Coaching changes, all sorts of things that happen inside the sphere of South African sports that we can chat about and have a conversation. Let's get a conversation going. So straight into the South African the rugby stuff. Rassie's Springboks managed to overtake Wales into fourth spot. Not that the rugby rankings, world rankings, mean much these days. It's been a talking point amongst most of the rugby nations, and there has to be a way around the current system. I don't know exactly the ins and outs, but it's not working, because I just don't understand how Argentina cannot be in the top 10, and they consistently give the All Blacks a run for their money. They consistently give us and Australia a run for their money. And I would consider, the All Blacks, South Africa, and Australia the three most powerful rugby nations. I mean, given the fact that the World Cups have largely been shared between those nations, says something. Having said that, the Northern Hemisphere sides are countries, do play good rugby, and the Six Nations is a hugely popular tournament as well. So, and more players are going to go play overseas from the Southern Hemisphere. So I'm not sure how they're doing these rugby rankings. I think there needs to be a lot more games played between the Northern and Southern Hemisphere teams, and then maybe things can look a bit fairer. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but the rankings will surely change now after the World Cup. We'll see maybe a bit fairer rankings, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see on that one, how they're going to approach that. Those rankings, by the way, Ireland are number 1, New Zealand number 2, number 3 is England. We're obviously at 4 now. Wales have slipped all the way down to 5 after they were number 1. So that in itself just says that something's not working. The fact that Wales 2 weeks ago were number 1 and now all of a sudden they're number 5. I just don't know how that's supposed to work. Then Australia are 6th, Scotland 7th, France 8th, Fiji 9th, and Japan are 10th. So, like I said, Argentina not even cracking the nod in the top 10. Now, I understand that Argentina don't win that many games, given that they play in a really strong competition against us and the All Blacks and the Wallabies. But I would suggest that they would give many of those Northern Hemisphere sides a run for their money as well, and possibly beat most of them. So something needs to be addressed there. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. We're just here to support the Boks and carry on with it. Speaking about the Boks, they obviously played against Japan last week. So just gonna have a quick look at that game. It was a really good game. If you're a Boks supporter. If you're a Japan supporter, not so good. But yeah, it was good to see that there was a clear game plan implemented by Rassie to play without the ball. We worked on our tactical kicking, which was quite good. I can't really fault that part of the game. It was, obviously being South African, we don't want to kick as much as we used to. Aimless kicking though, but the kicking was good. It was there was a point behind it. It was kicking to put pressure on the opponent. When you do that, you force him into mistakes, which we did, and we scored points every time. That's also another positive. Every time we got a chance to score points, bang, boys scored tries, and that's what you want. I mean, going into a tournament, that was brilliant. Then just another positive was the defense. Japan never really troubled us on defense, and I think it was just one small error that led to their try. So, in defense we were quite solid. It was nice to see that we that the defense is still there, because obviously against the All Blacks we defended really well, and for those like last 40 minutes, and got the draw in the end. So it's really nice to see that that's a continuous positive in our game. You don't want to let it slip now just before the World Cup, because defense ultimately wins you the World Cup. Because in the final, it's not going to be who scores the most tries. It's going to be who defends well and who defends the best. So, but that's always been a positive in South African rugby. We've always really defended really well, and it's good to see that continuing. Just having a look here. Another positive. Willie Leroux. Yes, Willie Leroux coming in at first receiver. I think Rassi's done well with that. Willie brings experience, cool head, he's good under the high ball, but also he comes in at times to relieve pressure off Andre Pollard, and I think Andre Pollard is the better for it. I think, you've seen Andre really excel his game this season, and in a box shirt, he's really taken that role, and he's really taken it away from anyone else. You don't really consider there to be competition at 10 at the moment, at all. And I think a large part of that is because Willie can come in and take the pressure off him. And he does it so well with that left boot of his, educated left boot. A number of times he came in, put the ball down the field, into space, into the touchline, relieving pressure. And then, it's nice for Andre just to know he's got that option, and I think that was great. Just looking at some of the negatives we saw, Malcolm Marx didn't quite look up to the pace of the game. I don't know whether he was. It looked like he was just going through the motions. I know he had that pass to set up the try, but other than that, he was largely uninfluential in the game, and that's not something you usually associate with Malcolm's game. Usually, he's all action, hitting the ball up and go forward. We didn't see much of that from Marx, and didn't see much of his offloading ability either. So that was, I wouldn't say worrying, but it's one to monitor. To be fair though, I wouldn't have him in the starting lineup at this point. I think the front row that was on the bench, I think that's our best front row. And I think Rassie was perhaps just giving these guys game time before the All Black game, just to make sure that they're still on it, they're still going at 100%. Andre Pollard's kicking wasn't brilliant. It wasn't his usual best. He missed a couple kicks, that could have made the score a bit bigger. But besides that, in a pressure situation, you want him to be knocking those kicks over. You want him to be nailing every kick, because that is what's been proven. Look at the World Cup, the last World Cup we won. We nailed all our kicks, and that's what ultimately won us the game. So I think, Pollard needs to, I don't want to say he needs to take it more seriously, but I think he maybe took it a bit lightly because we were winning by such a big margin, and I think that's perhaps part of why he missed. But I'd like to see him continue to kick better, as he has done this whole season. So I'm not worried about that, but it's just one of the things from the game that you can pick out, which might be a negative. Another guy that wasn't quite up to his standard was Damien Delendi. And I think perhaps that was him trying to maybe do too much. It looked like that to me anyway. It looked like he was trying to do too much with the ball when he had it in his hands. Looked like even when he took crash ball, it looked like he was trying to go for an extra meter where he could have set up a quicker ruck and stuff like that. So just maybe it's his excitement to get on the field and to prove his worth and make sure that he stays in the team. So I wouldn't worry about Delendi. Delendi had a great season for the Stormers, and Delendi really added to his game this season. He added a bit of kicking prowess where his kicking was a bit suspect before, but he's added that to his game, which also takes a bit of pressure off Andre. He's also added offloading a bit quicker. He's been criticised in the past for being very one-dimensional and very very much channel one ball, which is just crashing it up and setting up the next play. But I think Delaney has real game breaking potential, and then you throw in the fact that you've got Kanyo who is practically a winger on his outside. If you put in a gap, it's good night. And sorry, just also one quick positive was the wingers scoring. It's been a thorn in my side for the longest time in South African rugby. I've thought that we've got the best wingers in the world, but they never get the ball, and that's pointless. I'm so glad that we are finally getting the ball to these absolute speedsters outside, because no one can catch them. I mean, Makazola Mapimpi, Cheslin Colby, Spoon Kosi, whoever you want to put there, if they get a gap, you are not catching them. It's good night, nurse, and that's 5 points in the bag every time. So I'm so glad that we finally, getting that part of our game sorted out, and it's great to see the wingers scoring tries. Always love that. And then that little man Herschel Yankees coming on, doing well, doing what he always does, sniffing out an opportunity and scoring. So game plan well implemented by Rassie and the guys, and was brilliant to see. Was excellent signs going into the World Cup. And one thing I also just want to mention is the unbelievable support we've received from Japan. I mean, Oaks walking out to the national anthem being sung at their practices. I mean, what a I don't even know what to say. Like, how must that feel as a South African walking out to see all these Japanese people singing your national anthems? It must be spine tingling. And so obviously we wish the Boks all the best, and hopefully they can win that first game against All Blacks. Even if they don't, I think there's a great chance that we'll get through to at least the semi-finals. And once we get there, anything can happen. But we'll keep you posted here and keep reviewing games and keep you up to date. So we're just going to head into some other South African news that's come up lately. The Bafana coach, if you don't know, is Molefe Nseki. He'll have to wait another 2 months before he gets his debut game in charge. Unfortunately, there was a game scheduled, but the team, just off the top of my head, I forget who it was, but the team called that game off because of the xenophobic attacks that have been happening recently in South Africa. We then rescheduled a game with another opponent. I believe it was Madagascar, and they also called it off for quote unknown reasons. They didn't give an explanation, but I think the explanation is pretty clear. It looks as if they kind of boycotting us because of all the xenophobic attacks that are happening in South Africa at the moment, and it's a tragic thing, really. That our fellow brothers and sisters have to live in fear, and it's terrible, and it's affecting like one of the biggest parts of South Africa, which is our sport. We love our sport in South Africa, and for something to threaten it like that's not even part of sport is. I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous, and I just wish there was a solution that I could offer someone or people, or everyone, to say like this is not on. But I'm sure we'll have a resolution soon, and I just hope that the boys can get back out to playing again, because they've missed that time to gel as a team now, and that for a coach is important. So we wish Molefe all the best, and hopefully when he takes the reins again. In 2 months' time, that he can get that win, that game, and get the win, and start really positively for Bafana. And then last but not least, Rifilu Jain recently signed for AC Milan. Now, if you don't know Rifilu, you are welcome to go check out my my article I've written on it. Just a short piece on just where she's played before, and obviously she's moved to AC Milan now, and just a little bit on equal pay and what I think of it with regards to the women's game as well. So that's all on the Fair Digest on the magazine. So you guys are welcome to go subscribe and check it out. There's loads of other things on there as well. So yeah, go check it out, guys. It's very informative, and you guys will find something that you love on there. So yeah, guys, that's me. That's my 2 cents, as it were. This is the Wild Protea. I'll be broadcasting every Friday. I'll also be trying to do live streams on the bot games. Obviously, with certain things coming up or whatever, might have to skip a stream here and there, but we'll try and keep it up to date. And so yeah, join me if you want to see how a proper South African fan reacts to tries and refs, and if you don't mind the odd swear word, then join me for a live stream. You will enjoy it. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.